The film begins with Rahayu, who is sleeping. Her father comes to wake her up and asks her to offer the morning prayers. While she is praying, she suddenly hears strange noises outside her room. She quickly leaves her prayer and steps out, where she sees unknown people trying to kill her father. In an attempt to save him, she attacks the intruders, even biting off one man's ear. However, she still fails to save her father. Turns out that Rahayu's father, Semity, is a shaman who helps people possessed by evil souls. But the attackers misunderstand him, believing he practices black magic, and they kill him. After his death, Rahayu moves with her younger brother to her grandmother Mina's home. Soon, the villagers also come to know about the supposed reason behind her father's death, and begin to treat the family poorly. 2 years pass. To support the household, Rahayu works at a clothing store. One day, she comes home and sees that Semity's uncle, Sintat, is visiting Mina, trying to pressure them into selling her father's old house. This makes Rahayu angry. She never understands why everyone views her father negatively and why they want to sell his property. Seeking answers, she visits Semity's former teacher. There, she finds a strange cane shaped like a snake which belonged to her father. As she reaches out to touch it, Serwo quickly stops her and tells her not to touch it. When Rahayu looks at the cane again, she experiences a flashback. It reveals that her mother had died from a snake bite, and her body suffered terribly, resulting in a horrific death. Serwo explains that their old house is now being used as a prayer room. The scene cuts to the prayer room where a man is offering prayers. He feels someone repeatedly tapping his shoulder. First, he ignores it, but eventually he becomes frightened, but he continues to pray. As the lights go out, it is shown that it is congregational prayer. He hears multiple ghostly voices behind him. When he turns around, no one is there, but the experience terrifies him. He tries to flee and is seen by Rahayu, who has come to visit the old house. Since it is now a place for prayer, she decides to recite one as well. While praying, the lights go out again and the spirits of dead women gather around her and start screaming. Rahayu screams and tries to escape but gets tangled in a curtain, triggering another flashback. This time, she sees how her father used to extract evil energies from possessed people. In one such ritual, a snake comes out of the possessed man's mouth. Semity absorbs the energy, and the snake that emerges from his own body swallows the other snake. As the snake was about to bite her, Semity traps this snake into the cane, the same cane she saw earlier. It is implied that the cane holds magical powers. Back in the present, Rahayu runs out of the prayer room in fear. The next morning, everything seems normal. She goes to her shop for work and business is good. This makes her neighbor shopkeeper jealous, and she insults Rahayu. Rahayu becomes furious, her eyes turn white, and she attacks Riri like a wild cat. The fight turns intense. People intervene and are shocked by Rahayu's white eyes. Rahayu's male friend, Ratman, tells everyone that she had visited her old home last night, where her father used to trap evil souls. It's possible that one of those spirits has possessed her. Frightened by everything, Rahayu returns home and asks Mina about her father's work. Her grandmother confirms that he used to take help from evil souls and then lock them in a room after completing his rituals. Prayer room has become a dwelling place for evil souls. Mina forbids her from visiting it again. However, Rahayu seems possessed once more and somehow ends up outside the same room. There, she sees another man trying to pray but visibly struggling. When Rahayu observes closely, she notices a child spirit clinging to his back, which explains his difficulty. Rahayu starts praying as well. During her prayer, she sees the feet of numerous souls above her head, causing intense fear. As she continues praying, one spirit appears in pain and sits in front of her, clutching its head. Startled, Rahayu falls backward, landing amidst several resting spirits who then try to grab her. This triggers more flashbacks. In the past, Semity performs a ritual using captive souls to free a man from possession. During the ritual, young Rahayu enters, breaking the spiritual process. As a result, all the spirits possess her. Trying to flee again, she finds herself not outside the room but in the realm of the spirits. The spirits begin to attack her, but someone grabs her hand and saves her. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself at Serwo's home, with Ratman by her side. Serwo explains that the evil spirits possessed her during childhood, and Santat had come to perform an exorcism, but it was incomplete. Upon returning home, Rahayu unintentionally summoned the spirits herself. Since that day, she has remained under their control. Teacher tells her that she still needs a proper exorcism. Days pass and Rahayu's condition worsens. She begins to see spirits everywhere, even at her workplace. One day, while Mina is at the market, Rura's mother starts insulting her. Witnessing this, Rahayu feels a surge of strange energy. A snake emerges from her mouth, just like it once did from her father, and bites the woman. The villagers see this incident and begin to believe that Mina is behind everything. They prepare to exile them from the village. Serwo intervenes and calms the situation. That night, something terrifying happens again. The same strange energy, in the form of a snake, emerges from Rahayu's body and kills Rira's mother. The villagers believe Mina is responsible and demand punishment. Once again, Santat steps in and proposes a truth ritual. In this ritual, a living person is laid out like a corpse and asked to confess their sins. If the person is guilty, they die during the ritual. If innocent, they survive. Mina agrees to it, claiming she has done nothing wrong. The next night, as the ritual for Mina begins, Rahayu returns to the prayer room to pray. This time, the spirits try to scare her again, but she doesn't flinch. Instead, she screams back and frightens them. She has now become powerful. That moment, an energy releases from within her. Meanwhile, Mina is shown entering a completely different spiritual world, overwhelmed with fear as she walks from one room to another. She sees Rahayu sitting among the souls in one of the rooms. This terrifying sight makes her scream loudly, and she regains consciousness in the real world. Seeing her alive, everyone understands that Mina is not responsible for the murder of the woman. Despite proving her innocence, Mina becomes deeply shaken and decides to leave the village. Before leaving, she tells Rahayu that she is handing over the property to Santat. Hearing Santat's name enrages Rahayu, her eyes darken and she appears to be possessed again. She declares that it was none other than Santat who orchestrated her father's death. She admits to biting the man who attacked her father and claims to have seen that same man with Santat after the incident. She accuses Santat of gathering the villagers against her family to force them out of their home. Her voice becomes so terrifying that Mina has to cover her ears. After saying all this, Rahayu faints. By evening, Rahayu regains consciousness but does not go to work. When she arrives late, she is informed that she has been fired, and her remaining salary is handed over. Back home, she breaks down in tears. Her sorrow triggers the reawakening of the powers within her, and a snake emerges from her body and bites her employer, leading to the employer's death. Mina becomes extremely disturbed by the events. She begins to see snakes everywhere. When Rahayu's brother, Ajik, asks for water, she hallucinates that a snake is about to bite him. In her panic, she grabs the snake and repeatedly smashes it against the wall, only to realize too late that she has actually harmed Ajik. Mistaking the boy for a snake due to her hallucinations, she accidentally kills him. Filled with guilt over this unintended murder and having once been accused falsely of another, her mental state deteriorates. She ultimately takes her own life. Seeing Mina's lifeless body shocks Rahayu into unconsciousness again. When she wakes up, she finds herself in Santat's car as he takes her to his home. This realization causes her to faint again. She regains consciousness at Santat's house, where his wife, Ajing, gently comforts her. She explains that Rahayu is mistaken about Santat's intentions. He does not want her father's property and already possesses wealth. In fact, he has invested his money into a school where kids are taught spiritual practices and exorcisms. She assures Rahayu that she should not blame herself for Semiti's death or Mina's suicide. These tragedies are the work of evil spirits. Later that night, Ajing dreams of Ajik, who tells her that Rahayu is still connected to the prayer room and can only be saved through an exorcism. The cane made by his father's powers is necessary for this ritual. Upon waking, Ajing shares this dream with him, and Santat goes to retrieve the cane. While searching, he finds objects related to black magic and discovers that everything is the doing of Serwo. Serwo is the real culprit behind Semiti's murder, carried out through black magic. When confronted, Serwo confesses that he felt threatened when Semiti began helping people, causing his own influence to decline. Jealous of Semiti's growing reputation, Serwo plotted his death. Sarwo also aimed to seize his property. Serwo had intentionally sent Rahayu back to the prayer room, hoping the old possession would return. Now knowing the truth, Santat returns with the cane to perform Rahayu's exorcism. Rahayu is taken into a room filled with men, including the one responsible for her father's murder. Seeing him enrages her, and she becomes possessed again, her eyes turning strange, and she charges towards Santat, believing him to be the killer. This point, Santat reveals that it was not he but Serwo who used black magic to kill her father. Rahayu then identifies the killer among the group, and Santat confesses that the murderer was his own son Wahid. He admits that he discovered this only 2 years ago and kept the truth hidden to protect him. This silence brought shame to Rahayu's family, resulting in Mina's and Ajik's deaths, something Santat deeply regrets. Though angry, Rahayu channels her rage to possess Wahid using dark energy, causing him to kill Santat. Ajeng rushes in, horrified to find her husband dead, killed by their own son. They bring Wahid back through an exorcism, and when he realizes what he has done, the guilt consumes him, leading him to take his own life. With the situation spiraling out of control, Ajeng realizes that Rahayu must be properly exorcised. She puts aside her grief and begins the ritual. The evil energies are expelled from Rahayu's body, and she returns to normal. The next day, Santat and Wahida's funeral is held. Rahayu is overwhelmed with sorrow. Once again, Ajeng, a kind-hearted woman, comforts her and tells her not to blame herself. She explains that all of it was the work of evil forces, which have now been removed through exorcism. She also reveals that the powerful spirit that had possessed Rahayu was named Khanzab, one of the most dangerous jinns. A portion of its energy was stored in the cane used during the ritual. To prevent any future connection, the cane is destroyed. And with that, the story comes to an end. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please like and share it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We keep bringing such content regularly. Peace.